Hello again. Um, Today I am going to read for you some connected poems, one by John Keats and two by Thomas Hardy. Hardy was very taken with the poetry of Keats. He held Keats in the very, very highest possible estimation. Um, So, first of all, I'll just start off with the Keats poem and then I'll explain the Hardy responses when I get to them. So, this is a sonnet by John Keats, a very well known one of his poems. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendour hung aloft the night, and watching with eternal lids apart, like nature's patient, sleepless eremite, the moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. No, yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel for ever its soft fall and swell, awake for ever in a sweet unrest, still, still to hear her tender taken breath, and so live ever, or else swoon to death. Now, the poems that I'm going to read by Thomas Hardy, the first of them is actually a direct response to that Keats poem. And Hardy wrote it 100 years on from when it was believed, and certainly he believed, that Keats had written the Bright Star sonnet. There's now some dispute about the exact date when Keats did write that poem. But anyway, Hardy wrote this from the point of view of the centenary, if you like. And so this first poem is called At Lulworth Cove, a Century Back. Had I but lived 100 years ago, I might have gone as I have gone this year by Warmwell Cross onto a cove I know, and time hath placed his finger on me there. You see that man? I might have looked and said, oh yes, I see him, one that boat has brought, which dropped down channel round St. Alban's Head. So commonplace a youth calls not my thought. You see that man? Why, yes, I told you, yes, of an idling town sort, thin, hair brown in hue, and as the evening light scants less and less, he looks up at a star, as many do. You see that man? Nay, leave me, then I plead. I have 15 miles to vamp across the lea, and it grows dark, and I'm weary kneed. I have said the third time, yes, that man I see. Good. That man goes to Rome, to death, despair, and no one notes him now but you and I. 100 years, and the world will follow him there, and bend with reverence where his ashes lie. And the second Hardy poem I'm going to read is called At a House in Hampstead. The house in question being Keats' house in Hampstead, which is a museum still to John Keats, which the public can visit. So this is Hardy's poem. At a house in Hampstead, sometime the dwelling of John Keats. O poet, come you haunting here where streets have stolen up all around, and never a nightingale pours one full-throated sound, drawn from your drowse by the seven famed hills, Thought you to find all just the same here shining, as in hours of old, if you but came? What will you do in your surprise at seeing the changes wrought in Rome are wrought yet more on the misty slope, one time your home? Will you wake, wind wafts on these stairs, swing the doors open noisily, show as an umbraged ghost beside your ancient tree? Or will you, softening the while you further and yet further look, learn that a laggard few would fain preserve your nook, where the piazza steps incline and catch late light at eventide? I once stood in that Rome and thought 'twas here he died. I drew to a violet sprinkled spot, where day and night a pyramid keeps, uplifted its white hand, and said, "'Tis there he sleeps." Pleasanter now it is to hold that here where sang he, more of him remains than where he, tuneless, cold, passed to the dim.